Hello and welcome to the Dylan Zywicki podcast. Today we have a very special guest on the show with us. This is the leader, the Emperor of Tomlandia, Tom Q. Would you care to introduce yourself to the audience, my friend?
Hello, my name is Tom Q. I'm currently the leader of the Tomlandian Confederation. It's a confederation of me made of my multifaceted personalities. Hello.
Oh, now that is very, very interesting. Now, Tom, could you give us, what gave you the idea of an empire?
So basically, when I was as a child, I would move back and forth between China, United States, Germany, and many different countries. So I never really developed my own national identity. So instead, I thought I might just create my own empire. That idea didn't really come to me until middle school when a bunch of kids decide to bully me because I'm apparently from another country. The drill. So what happened was I got revenge on them by recording their every single detail and reading where they have essentially broken the rules, and I reported all that to the teachers to promptly get them expelled. And that gave me a sense of glory I have never felt during my childhood times, and therefore I decided that that could be considered an empire.
Wow, interesting. Well, then I guess empire is a very fitting word for that, with a backstory like that. Well, can you tell us, did you have any prior experience with nations?
I would say that I have. There was one time in high school when I had a friend group made of me and two other girls. We would always joke around saying how it's a matrilineal society, and I would always ask them if it was an empire or not. They would always say, yes, it is. The name of the empire is called the Oily Cheese Empire, and I think they gave me a lot of inspirations on how to make the empire as I have now.
Really? Okay, and weren't you also a member of the Friendship Monarchy Empire?
Can
you tell us a little bit about that one too?
That was also an empire I have been a part of. This was also in my high school. A group of boys and I decided to make a friend group, and one of the boys, his name was Dylan Zywicki, he decided that he should be the leader of the empire, the emperor. So he made his own empire. He made himself the emperor. He made a senate with me and another person in it, and he made a essentially Discord server to include everyone in his empire.
Huh. Well, that is riveting. That is very thrilling. Well, I'm sure after being in an empire like that, you are very qualified to run your own.
I would say so.
Can you tell us, did your empire ever fail?
I would say it did. The greatest failure being one that I made in high school again, junior year of high school, in fact, or third year if you're not from America, of high school. Basically, what happened was I had met a friend. Her name was Katie. She was a freshman at the time. I introduced her to high school, life in general, and how to function in a high school society, essentially. And we quickly became good friends. At the time, I had my own friend group, and she had her own friend group. So we decided to join together and make our friend group into an empire with me as the center, as the emperor. We made many great memories together. We went bowling, arcading, we gave each other gifts, we attended each other's birthday parties, and it can be said that it was quite fun being around this friend group. However, COVID hit, and I think the rest of the friend group didn't think that the idea of me being the emperor of an empire sit well with them. So instead, they decided to leave the empire, and slowly, everyone started leaving until there was only one person left. It was Katie. I was so afraid of Katie leaving that I essentially did not do her justice. I was always angry at her to try to prevent her from leaving. I don't know what I was thinking. And I would always be controlling and manipulative, and that ended up causing her to leave the empire. And I ended up being alone.
Wow. Okay. That's deep. That's really deep. Well, can you tell us, moving out of the past and into the future, how did the current empire start?
I would say the Tomlandian Empire or the Tomlandian Confederation started when I applied for colleges, specifically UGA. I wanted to regain my sense of leadership and control over my life. And therefore, I decided that I would make my empire about me and my multifaceted personalities. And it was quite successful. I was able to push myself beyond what I'm capable of and attend a great college.
Interesting. Well, I'm glad to hear it turned out, successful towards the end. But on a serious note, don't you think it's conceited for you to consider yourself the leader of an empire?
I guess it would be, but I would also say that this idea of an empire isn't the fact that I'm better than anyone or the fact that I am necessarily the leader of anyone. The idea of the empire is for me, myself, to grow and change, to reach beyond new heights. Rather than an empire with me being the leader and me being the best, I would like to say that I am always striving for better and growing and changing due to this empire. And that's why I don't think it's necessarily conceited for me to call myself an empire. The emperor of the empire, that is me.
Okay. Well, that's an interesting take, a very interesting perspective. And well, I think that is all we've got time for today on the Dylan Zywicki podcast. But everyone listening at home, can we give a round of applause to our guest today, Emperor Tom Q of Tomlandia. So, it was a pleasure to have you on the show, Tom, and good luck with the rest of your endeavors and running the empire.
Thank you very much.